ad spending. You can see in Trump's campaign, reprehensible what happened at the rally. Where was he? He was in Pennsylvania. Trump understands how important Pennsylvania was to him in 2016 and how just losing Pennsylvania, the three blue wall states have gone together in every presidential election since 2004. Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. They tend to go together. And Pennsylvania, you could argue, is the most complicated one because, you have the African-American vote in Philadelphia, then you have the suburban caller around Philadelphia where I'm heading as soon as I'm done here today to talk to voters. And then you have the middle of the state, which is very rural. This is so Josh Shapiro is the Pennsylvanian who in 2022 won a very impressive victory in Pennsylvania. So you could argue, looking at the resumes today, that he's your best candidate in Pennsylvania. You can also make an argument as we live in nationalized climate now. We live in a nationalized election climate. It used to be, the issues in one state, fracking, might not be an issue in another state. Immigration, Arizona versus Pennsylvania or Ohio versus, pick another one. Now we live in this nationalized climate. And if you look at Minnesota and those small rural counties and where Walz's House district was, you can overlap those communities with Pennsylvania just fine, and with Wisconsin and with Michigan. Is he as well known as your own governor? Of course not. But can you get into those communities? And I suspect when Tim Walz goes to those communities in Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro's going to be right there.
All right. I'm going to quickly go to Whitney while she is outside of the governor's residence as we are waiting to see when this phone call is coming. What are you learning out there this morning? We've seen a lot of people going by taking pictures now that they know that he is the presumptive pick here.
Right when that news started breaking, we saw more and more neighbors coming out. This is a big walker-runner community. We've seen many people this morning getting their morning run in, but right now what we see is people stopping, taking pictures, chit-chatting. We saw a family come out with their children. People in this area know this is a major moment on a absolutely perfect, crystal clear blue day here in St. Paul. Right now, we haven't seen the governor yet. We're seeing very little activity outside the house. We've seen a couple aides come in and out, but we're certainly waiting for the moment to make an appearance. We have no idea.
Just
the door is opening. Here we go. We see one vehicle leaving. We see one of these Suburbans leaving. Let's see. We can see who's inside. It's too dark, guys. I'm sorry. I can't see who's inside, but it's just what's moving. Again,
she got no problem doing that.
What we know, we've been in communication with someone's. Here we go. You hear that energy? Picking up in this neighborhood. What we're waiting for is for when his Minnesota state troopers are going to hand off his security to the Secret Service. That doesn't come until after that announcement is formally made. So what we did see, though, is it appeared that his detail expanded this morning. Right when we got here early this morning, there were 4 Suburbans. That expanded to about 10 law enforcement vehicles later in the morning, and now we're waiting to see when the Secret Service is going to come and actually pick him up as one of their designated protectees. That will be another huge moment. But for now, guys, the energy out here picking up. Neighbors clearly taking in the media buzz, taking in the moments, and we'll keep you posted.
Yep, they have been watching and they know what's going on in their neighborhood. They are cheering, and we've been seeing them running by, taking snaps right outside of the governor's home. All right, let's go to Jeff Seleny. Jeff, can you just sort of break down who Governor Walz is? The entire country may not.
Final destination right there.
He's a veteran, a gun owner, a hunter, a father.
Shouts out to Rare 69 and Matthew Kershaw. Steel coils.
Yes, sir. He's 60 years old, and his first elective office was not the school board or city hall. It was Congress. Think back to 2006. This, of course, was the end of the Bush administration, and Tim Walz, who at that point was a social studies teacher from suburban Minneapolis, just south of there, and he decided to run for Congress. It was a very, very good year for Democrats. He unseated a Republican member of Congress, and he served in Congress in Washington for more than a dozen years. He left during the Trump era to run for governor, and he is now in his second term as Minnesota governor. And yes, Minnesota is not a classically swing state, but I call Minnesota the reddest blue state in the country. And here's why. Donald Trump in 2016 narrowly won the state of Minnesota over Hillary Clinton. And in this campaign, they have been trying to also put Minnesota into play. In fact, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance were campaigning in Minnesota just a week or so ago. With Joe Biden on the top of the ticket, polls showed that Minnesota was indeed in play. That has snapped back a bit. So